I understand the Pro Bowl is not the be-all, end-all of greatness in the NFL. The All-Pro team, probably holds a little bit more water. But with that being said, there's something very interesting and very unique about the Pro Bowl. Whether it's the meaningless game itself, the wild uniforms matched with the team helmets, the NFL's persistence on just trying to make it work, and the strange fan voting. There is a lot of variables that go into their decisions, but I found some very interesting outliers where I feel like some of these NFL pros got the short end of the first down stick. For Fifth Down Sports, we present to you the top 5 NFL players to only make the Pro Bowl once.
Number 5.
Number 5 is Georgia alum and former first overall pick Matthew Stafford. He was drafted to the Detroit Lions in 2009 in hopes to be the savior for a struggling Lions team coming off a winless season. His first 2 seasons were foiled by injuries, but since that 2010 season, he hasn't missed a start. He is the fastest to ever reach 30,000 passing yards in just 109 games. And although he's only been to 1 Pro Bowl, when he did, he made it count, winning Offensive MVP of the game for Team Irvin. His best season came in 2011 when he threw for 5,038 yards and 41 touchdowns. Yes, he threw for 19 more touchdowns in his non-Pro Bowl year than the year he actually made it to one. He's one of 4 quarterbacks to ever throw for 5,000 yards in a season, yet he didn't make the Pro Bowl. He already has a laundry list of franchise and handful of NFL records, but by the end of his career, he most likely will finish in the top 20 in both NFL all-time passing yards and passing touchdowns. So how has he only made the Pro Bowl once? Well, the biggest thing against Stafford not being as big of a shock as the other 4 people on this list is simply that he's just been in a pass-friendly league. And with guys like Matt Ryan, Drew Brees, and Aaron Rodgers all in the same conference, you can imagine how tough it would be for Stafford to reach the Pro Bowl. But compared to the Minnesota Vikings legend Donovan McNabb, Stafford has almost started 40 games less than him, while only having 2,000 less passing yards and 14 less touchdowns. Yet McNabb's made it to 6 Pro Bowl appearances, while Matthew had to be drafted by Michael Irving to get to his only Pro Bowl.
Number 4.
Next on the list at number 4 is Heisman Trophy winner and cannabis advocate Ricky Williams. After head coach Mike Ditka traded away all of the Saints' 1990 draft picks to move up for Ricky in the first round, his career in the NFL extended 13 years, although he basically did miss 3 full seasons. But in 2004, he claimed he retired because he led the NFL in rushing attempts 2 years prior and that they didn't go get a quarterback to help me. Those quarterbacks being Jay Fielder, Sage Rosenfels, and Brian Griese. In 2006, he got suspended for substance abuse and decided to play in the CFL for the season with the condition he would return to the Dolphins in 2007. There has since been a rule put into place to not allow suspended NFL players to do this, now dubbed the Ricky Williams rule. While playing in 147 games in the NFL, he only started 83 because of the stint in Miami where he played behind Ronnie Brown and dabbled in the Wildcat. Despite being a number 2 for little less than half his career, Ricky still managed to get over 10,000 yards with 66 touchdowns on the ground. He did get the call to Hawaii in 2002 during his first year as a Dolphin, but just after getting snubbed the trip in his second year as a Saint, where he averaged 100 yards a game and had 8 rushing touchdowns in just 10 games. Skittles addict Marshawn Lynch has ran for 10,003 yards as of this video, which is actually 6 yards less than Ricky. Lynch has made it to 5 Pro Bowls where Ricky only got to go to 1. It's just strange to think such a popular, polarizing, good-for-TV player like Ricky Williams only got to the Pro Bowl 1 time.
Number 3.
After a forgettable 2017 season with the Packers and a near non-existent role with the Raiders in 2018, it's natural to overlook how truly dominant Jordy Nelson was in the prime of his career. Riding his bike into training camp after being drafted by the Packers in the 2nd round, the farm-raised converted safety was set to be a prominent piece in the now Aaron Rodgers-led Packers offense. Unfortunately, White Lightning was just stuck playing third fiddle behind Hall of Famer probables Greg Jennings and Donald Driver for the first 3 years of his career. And then the season of 2011 happened. Nelson exploded for 1,263 yards, averaging a ridiculous 18.6 yards per reception. hauling in 15 touchdowns, behind only Gronk and Calvin Johnson, both Pro Bowlers that year. After a still half-decent injury-plagued 2012 season, the hick from the sticks became a model of consistency. From 2013 to 2016, Nelson averaged 1,363 yards, 11.5 Lambeau leaps per year, and highlighted by a monster 1,500-yard, 13-touchdown 2014 season. Stats guy, by the way. The Cal burner Deshaun Jackson came into the league the same year as Jordy and has had 3 Pro Bowl nods to his name. Jordy has 2 more catches and 20 more touchdowns than him. One more thing to note, in 2016, Jordy was named Comeback Player of the Year, led the league in receiving touchdowns with 14, got snubbed another trip to the Pro Bowl. Are you guys with me yet? You have to believe that Jordy deserves at least 1 or 2 more lays around his neck.
Number 2.
Ray Buchanan intercepting number 2 on this list. I wanted to dig a little deep here to find a defensive player, but it didn't take much. It surprised me like a longtime pro like Big Play Ray only went to 1 Pro Bowl. How long? 12 years, and he only missed 8 games. Despite having amazing dental hygiene and being one of the more underrated corners in the NFL, he seems to be remembered for his beef with Shannon Sharpe leading up to Super Bowl 33, where he told the media that Shannon resembled the TV horse Mr. Ed.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ed.
Shannon didn't hesitate to throw shade right back at Ray, saying he was a cross-dresser and he wouldn't help him out if he found him in a snowstorm.
If I see him in a snowstorm, his truck is broke down, mine is going perfectly. Would I pick him up? No. Other than that, I could care less about Ray Buchanan.
Way back in the year 1993, Ray got snubbed the Pro Bowl after posting his best season in just his 2nd year, where he racked in over 75 tackles, 8 picks, and took 3 of them to the house. I understand Revis Island is a shutdown corner, but in his 10 years, Revis made it to 7 Pro Bowls, and in Ray's 12 years while posting better stats per game, he only made it to 1? Other than that, I could care less about Ray Buchanan.
Number 1.
Topping this list of NFL players to only make the Pro Bowl once is Fred Taylor. Fred seems to have a stigma attached to him that he was injury prone, so much so he got the nickname Fragile Fred. Fans questioned his toughness between '99 and 2001, where he missed 23 out of 48 games. After almost retiring early in his career because of injuries and because of his agent, William Tank Black, stole and laundered Fred's $5 million of guaranteed money. He ended up being one of the more reliable studs in the NFL for 13 years, where halfbacks only usually last 3 years. His impressive career numbers are 11,600 rushing yards and 66 touchdowns just on the ground. The reason he tops this list because Fred posted 6 1,000-yard seasons, snubbed every time, before getting to his first and only Pro Bowl at 31 years old. Both playing 13 years in the NFL, Fragile Fred has played in more games than Adrian Peterson. They both have had 7 1,000-yard rushing seasons, while AP averaged 4.7 yards a carry. Fred's right behind him at 4.6, only having 700 less rushing yards than the Purple Jesus. AP's been to 7 Pro Bowls, while the more reliable Fred Taylor's only been to 1. Listen, I'm not saying that Fred Taylor is better than AP or anything, but one of these number 28s did not get the respect they deserved. And that's gonna do it for our top 5 list of NFL players to only make the Pro Bowl once. Some notable mentions that just missed out on the list are turnover machine and reality star Jay Cutler, Ashley Ambrose with 42 career interceptions, and D'Angelo Williams, who was a solid back in the league for 11 years. I know the Pro Bowl dates back to 1950, but like this video and all other videos on the channel, they're gonna be based in the past 30 years to stay somewhat relevant. As to why players like Ray Nitschke and John Riggins did not make the list, but what players did we snub from the list? Let us know in the comments. What are some other unconventional top 5s you would like to see on the channel? And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.